Hello, 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 hello. Hello everyone, and welcome back to John Builds Iconic Multimodals. So first of all, I'm going to start off by just saying, well, thank you to everybody that's obviously these last 2 or 3 videos that have been released. I've had a really nice response from the community, lots of comments, lots of thumbs up. So yeah, just want to say thank you for that. Okay, so today, carrying on, working with Victory. So I've got my plans out. These are the plans that come with the caldercraft kit. So as you can see, I mean, I've actually folded this up into about 3 pieces. This is a full scale plan, but I'm turning my attention to all working around the animal's quarters. So I could probably get it on this camera. Yeah, so I'm going to be working all around this section. Started making some the ship's wheel and the pinnacle. Started looking at that, but really today I'm going to concentrate on these cabin fronts. Yeah, so really, if you get a chance, just yeah, fold them in half, and then as you need to work on different parts, you can just move it over, but then you can still kind of get it on your desk. Okay, so like I say, I've got my camera slightly different today. I've got a forward-facing camera, just because I want to show you, I want to see the cabin fronts that I'm going to be working on. Yeah, so you see me working on, these are ones that came with a kit. These weren't built by me, these were built by the person that started this build around about 6 years ago. And these are absolutely fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these at all. If you want to, you get some photo etch windows that are all fitted just inside these little recesses. And that would, you know what I mean, I bet a lot of people who've been building this caldercraft kit over the last 20 years are probably really satisfied with that, and so would I. But luckily enough, I'm good friends with Neil at Woody's Model Works, and he's designed and made this 172 cabin walls upgrade, slightly a lot more detail. You get the window panes. I've actually started to take a few of these out just so I can show you. Yeah, so you get the window panes built in to the kit already. So rather than having to try and use any kind of photo etch, you've got this, and it's I just think it's a really nice upgrade. So you've also got these little score marks, and they're not just score marks to obviously represent wood. These are actually score marks, because with this kit as well, you get these built out columns. So where these score marks are is where you're going to attach some of these columns. You've got straight ones for the back of the cabin walls, and then you've got these angled ones for the curvature around the front part of the cabin walls. So I say I've already took a few out, and it's quite easy. This is only 1.5mm walnut, but it's quite easy. Just there's only a few tiny little score tabs, which is really nice, because there's nothing worse when the tabs are really too large and they just pop out like that. So because this is 1.5, there is a slight little bit of a score, because you imagine these are made to represent panelling, so you're having to kind of etch out that material, so it makes it a little bit thin, but that's not actually a problem. But maybe if you wanted to go to the extra work, you could probably get some 0.5 strips of wood and just line them out, but I don't think it'd be a problem. If you're probably adding some exterior lighting and you won't want any light bleed, and then that'd be maybe where you probably add a few little strips. But yeah, for me, I think it's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop rest of these out, and then we'll start doing the construction. Okay, so after cutting a few of them across, I've just brought over my wood glue, and like I say, it's for people that may be interested. I use this Gorilla wood glue. I just transfer it into a little pot just to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so after cutting a few of these out, I've cut a couple of these little columns out as well, and I've also, you get like a bottom, I suppose it's like a bottom trim, and that where this part of the closes up and makes a nice profile. So all I'm going to do first, I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue just along this edge, just down this edge. to the hand in. So clearly you want all the detail facing out, so that one's going to get pushed into there. Just leave it a few seconds. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more to this one. So I'm just going to take a paintbrush. Probably would have been better just to do one side at a time, let that dry. I'm just going to take a clean paintbrush and just clean off this excess glue. And square it up the best you can. And I think the good thing to do now is probably just leave that for 10-15 minutes to let the glue dry. Okay, so that's drying. What we'll do, we'll start to do because these get glued onto the fronts, just like that. So what I'll do is I'll show you where we just glue on a couple of these little columns. So you want the columns slightly angled. And then we can just glue that into place on that front. And then same again, it's coming in with a paintbrush and just cleaning up some of the excess glue. And all you do then is just kind of repeat that process on all these openings that are designed for the columns. Okay, so the glue's dried on them side parts that we fitted already. So while I was waiting for the glue to dry, I actually had a quick look on Woody's Model Works. And there is actually, where you order these upgraded cabin fronts, there is actually a slight selection that says like instructions. So I clicked on that. There's obviously a really nice proper diagram exactly where all these columns fitted, and there's also another section about how you reinforce them as well, so I'll go into that as well. Yeah, so when you go on the website and the instructions, it gives you a complete list of exactly where these columns fit on these parts that we cut out. So on the back wall, on these 4 on the back wall, they're the straight ones. We get some more straight ones on these columns that come off to the left and the right, and then obviously some of these ones that are slightly angled, these go in the internal walls. And it also mentions about what I talk about in the first part of the video. It actually talks about reinforcing this as well. So luckily I've got plenty of this wood left over. This is that wood that came with the kit that we actually use to line out the gun ports. So I use some of that, and I think it's the let's have a quick look. This is the 10 by, I think it's, yeah, 10 by 1. So yeah, I use some of that just to line out this back wall. And I'm actually going to use a few more of these little pieces, and I'll just line out this side wall as well. So I'm just going to put plenty of glue on. And all I've done, just cut a couple of pieces that are slightly smaller. And I'm just going to line them up with the bottom edge. and that'll really start to reinforce these parts. So you can pretty much use anything that you've got lying around really, but yeah, luckily they fit quite nice, that 10mm1. And I've got to do the same on the other side. Yes, that really does make a difference in making this feel a lot more secure. It felt a little bit flimsy before, but now adding these reinforced pieces on, it really strengthens it up. Okay, so now we can kind of start to, we can do the same on this one as well, just put a couple of these reinforcement parts. I'll do that after. So now we can kind of glue these side cabin fronts on. So the measurement along the back is around about 70mm. 70mm around the back. So what I've done, I've just made myself like a little brace. I just add a bit of balsa wood, and I can just put this on the front edge. So then I'll make sure that that keeps that 70mm space. And then same again. This time I'm going to glue down this edge. And we can just push this in to this section, making sure that obviously the edges, not the edges of the column, but the edge of the two constructional parts join up. I mean, you could use super glue for this if you wanted to, if you want the instant grab, but I just tend to use wood glue when I can. So that's one done, and then same again. Just a bit of glue down that front edge, and then stick the next one in. It's walnut, so it's not that easy to see that it's actually flush. And I think once you're happy with the position, just leave them to dry, like we did the back wall. It doesn't take long. Okay, so we've been gluing again for around about 10 minutes. Let's say it's you could use super glue if you wanted to, but I just prefer wood glue. But with wood glue, you do get the longer drying time. So yeah, this has been gluing. I glued this, and now this has been drying for around about 10 minutes. I added two more little reinforcement parts to these sections. They were around about 20mm long. Don't glue them right to the end, because obviously you'll see that in a minute. That obviously when you bring them up, you add them to the ribs. That'll make it stand forward, and you don't want that. Okay, so the next part is we get all this bottom trim in the kit, and we'd pop these out. Same, just following the plan and the instructions. It tells you exactly which ones go where. But this is the back one. But you glue this one on the back edge, so it overlaps the pillars as well, and then you'd continue adding them on down this section and along there. But I'm actually not going to add these to this canvas front, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so I was going to have a rechange of the cameras and bring the cabin fronts over to Victory and show you where we put them in position. Okay, so I'll just set the cameras up in a different position and brought these cabin fronts over to the Victory. So like I say, this is where it sits. This cabin front sits in front of this little column there. So if you'd filled that section in all the way to the end, it would make it stand out. So all you have to do is make sure that you leave enough, so there's enough of this material to actually sit on this cabin front. So it's designed where it sits just behind the Admiral's companionway, and then it kind of just by following the correct position to the plans, you get exactly where it needs to be positioned. But it is slightly positioned where it's positioned more this way, so it pretty much looks like it's going to come up with this capping in the Admiral's companionway. And then all we do then is just kind of position it, get it all correctly lined up. So it looks like it needs to come a bit more this way. Just square it up and then just glue in like that. So that's pretty much how it's going to fit. So I'm not going to glue it in just quite yet because I'm not quite ready. Yeah, but one of the reasons why I left these bottom trims off, so obviously, so I've redone this deck myself. I did it slightly different to the instructions, so I think along the way I've probably increased the height of the deck around about 1 mil. So if I actually sat that on these like bottom cappings, it really does increase the height of my my cabin walls. So when I kind of put the poop deck on the top, it would make it really high. So by just leaving this bottom trim off myself, because it could happen to yourself that somewhere along the way on these builds, these are all wooden builds, so sometimes you may obviously you've increased a mil somewhere, or you've lost a mil somewhere. So yeah, by having this option where I can actually just leave them off, and it still looks fine in any case, because the columns look really nice. But by doing that now, when I actually bring this poop deck across, it actually sits quite in the correct position as it's supposed to do. So like I say, I'm not going to glue it in just yet, just because I'm not quite, I mean, I've got to figure out exactly how it looks. But as you can see, just from this picture, it's going to look absolutely awesome. And I think for a £25 upgrade to go from the original caldercraft cabin fronts to these walnut cabin fronts. Glazing, I will glaze this, but I'm not quite sure what to glaze it with yet. I've actually got a little bits of plastic that I get from when I collect my partwork bits. They come in like a plastic bubble, so that's these. I actually get these on my partwork kit, so I might actually cut a little bit of this out. Let's just slice a bit out and have a look what this looks like. This is just very rough, just to show you. I'll just cut a little square out, but I think because it's so thin that these actually might just make nice little like glazed windows. You can see there. Yeah, so I could cut some of them into a nice position. This is really thin. This is about 0.3, but I could, like I say, cut one of them up. That would fit in there really nice. But yeah, but there's a few other options. Just let me know yourself what you could use and make a glazing for them windows. I'm not actually sure if it says anything in the instructions, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so once you've got all this cabin front glued in position, don't be tempted to kind of glue the poop deck on just yet, because you could quite end up making it difficult to fit the ship's wheel and the pinnacle, and that's what I'll be doing in next week's video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video today. For some reason I seem very close, I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, I think last time I set this camera back. Yeah, so I've seen quite close today. So yeah, please go and check out Neil's website. I'm sure I used to have a discount code if you type in John Builds 10, I think, at the checkout. But just message Neil first before that. I'm sure if you type in John Builds 10, you get 10% discount off all the entire Victory range. So yeah, like I say, it's absolutely brilliant, and I think like people like Neil and other people who make all these upgrades for HMS Victory, yeah, they do a fantastic job just to really make these to be like a, well, hopefully museum quality works of art. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment about maybe what you'd use for the glazing. I say I have channel membership. If people would like to join, become a channel member, you get these videos a little bit earlier on channel members, and also it's just yeah, just start becoming a channel member will really kind of help me towards my goal, and that's to be able to do this full time again. Maybe not in this in really 12 months, but hopefully maybe in 24 months. I'd like to maybe think I could get myself a nice workshop and I could start doing this full time, because this is my passion. I mean, there's not many, I'm 50 next year, and this is not many jobs you ever do in your life that you really enjoy, and this is I found that I've been doing this for the last 5 years, and this is a job that I really do enjoy. Chatting, building along for you, building Victory, and like I say, hopefully once I've completed Victory, I'm going to start building the Mary Rail. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Stop.